Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to another video. So today's video, you guys, we're going to talk really seriously about my car situation. So I do want to say thank you so much to all of you wonderful people. I don't think there was one person, there might have been one or two people who really was like, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't focus on that. But everybody, when I explained in my budget update last week about my car situation, was very, very encouraging, very supportive, very, Shakema, do what you have to do. So for those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, or you're new to my channel, hey, you guys, my name's Shakema. I'm a single mom. I have 4 kids, 2 girls, 2 boys, 1 fur dog named Gracie. I even have a fur grand dog. His name is Acro. And we're living our best Dave Ramsey life. So my kids and I actually started Dave Ramsey about 11 years ago. And Dave Ramsey, of course, has 7 baby steps to get into financial freedom. And it took us a really, really, really long time to get to gain financial freedom. It took me starting the keto journey, which is about 3 years ago, to really gain mental clarity on what gazelle intense meant. I knew what it meant to pay your debt. I didn't know what it meant to be gazelle intense. I couldn't work it out in my brain. It's like when I have too many interactions coming in and out of my bank, sometimes I just need to take a minute and let things settle and then figure out where I am, because there's so much going in and so much going out. And I'm like, oh my God, it's too much. But it took us a long time to get out of debt. We got out of debt in 2018. I think it was 2018, late, mid-year. And which is baby step number 2, to pay all of your consumer debt. And we did that. And I was living and am living my best life as far as debt freedom is concerned. I don't go into debt if I don't have the money for it. We don't buy it. I use cash. I very rarely use my debit card because I'm a swiper. I used to be, okay, buy something, swipe. And then sometimes you don't always reconcile your books, and then you're figuring out, well, I don't have any money. When you pay cash, you're more mindful and cognizant of where your money is going. And so for me, that was a good system and is a good system. And speaking of that, I just want to thank my friend for sending me these great cash envelopes for my 5th week. I like these a whole lot better than the ones I have. I love the colors, actually. These came from Mom Needs a Clone, and she got me 3 extra ones. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. To go with some of the ones that I already have. I still will keep my old ones, but I will use these as well. I love the cash envelope system. It has been such a beautiful situation for our family, and it really has helped us. With that being said, in 2013, I bought a car. We found it in Wilmington. It was 79,000 miles. My other car was well over 250,000 miles. I bought that car brand new back in 90 something. I don't know when, but 250 plus thousand miles on that car. And it was getting up there, and it was starting to have troubles and issues, and going to I drove a lot, travel a lot, with that vehicle. Now, if we travel, you can get a company car. So we don't have to use our vehicles anymore, because they would have to pay us gas. And it's just cheaper to take the company car. You get it. You take it to the garage, you fill it up with gas. When you come back, if it's before closing time, you take it back to the garage, you fill it up with gas. And if you had to fill up between there, they'll reimburse you for the amount of gas that you filled up with. But it's pretty much a great deal, especially if you're having to go, on a work trip. You drive the car there, you bring it back, they pay for the gas back and forth. They don't have to reimburse you for your gas, and you're saving miles on your vehicle. They keep all of the company vehicles serviced. All the maintenance, all the upkeep is on them. So that has really been helpful in these last couple of years since I've been working in the new job. Although I do have to drive to my schools. I work at one building, and then I have 3 other buildings that I service. So I have 4 different buildings that I could be at any day of the week. since the pandemic, though, I really only go to my schools if I'm working with a specific class at that time. And then some teachers want you to come virtual. So I do virtual. I do probably more virtual classes. But I still go in and out of the building. But we try to keep as minimum people in the buildings as possible. And this, of course, was before the teachers could get vaccines and all that kind of stuff. So now in North Carolina, teachers are considered essential and they can get the vaccine. We are also trying to get students back to school. So, more people are choosing to go that route with the vaccine. And so we'll be able to get into our buildings, depending on, like, I'm an itinerant person. I go from place to place. And some of us, not me specifically, but some of us can't go to the buildings. We just work virtual. So it's just whatever the teacher prefers that I'm working with at the time. I have 3, 5, I have 6 8th grade teachers, 1, 2, 4 7th grade teachers, and then a plethora of 6th grade and 5th grade teachers. So, just depending, I could be at any school any day. And that doesn't include the elementary schools. Those are just my middle schools. And I have 4 elementary schools. So with that being said, I drive a lot. And my car has been a great car. We got it at 79,000 miles. It was an older couple that had turned it in. I paid $8,000 for it. I borrowed against my 401k. Paid myself back about half of that. And the Lord laid it on someone's heart over a course of time for someone else to sow into the car ministry. And they paid off half of the car in different times. And that was a beautiful blessing. So I would never say that God cannot, because God did, and he laid it on that individual's heart. This was pre-YouTube. This was way before I was on YouTube, probably about 5 years before I was on YouTube. It's a person that's in my life and knows me and knows what I've, been going through. And they said, I just wanted to help you out a couple different times. And they wrote a check and it just paid off the rest of what I had to pay. So I've had my car for a long time, about 8 years now. And recently, I would say over the last year, it's been this little crop up, that little crop up. I think right after Thanksgiving, right before Christmas, I had a really big repair, a huge repair, over $1,000. Then I had to get new tires on the car. And then the car still wasn't fixed. And I took it to the mechanic. They even got me a rental car because they couldn't get it fixed that one day. And that was after me sitting there all day long. They were finally like, Miss Wilson, we're going to get you a rental car. We know you got to get home and you have things to do. You can't just be sitting. And I had sat there all day, like a work day full. I probably was on Christmas break or something, I'm sure, because I was there all day. And so they got me a rental car, and then we got taking care of that situation. Well, it wasn't all the way fixed. So I went back and I said, nope, it's still leaking. And they said, oh, well, if we do this, and because we fixed the top of this and we go to the bottom, now it's the side, it's going to be another $1,000. And I'm like, oh, man. By this time, I had began saving for the van that I was wanting to get. And have been talking about, you guys have heard me talk about the van because the kids in their Taekwondo bags and all the stuff we got, I just need a van. And so we have been talking about it. And I started saving. I got the stimulus last year, and I put that in. And then everything that's extra after I do my sinking funds, I've been putting that in. And so I have had like $2,700 in my new car fund. Well, I was driving in the car 2 weeks ago and noticed that the temperature gauge, where it normally stays in the middle of the C and the H, was starting to go up to the H, and it had never done that before. So I watch this stuff all the time because I'm trying to make sure, I've got 250-some thousand miles on this car, and I'm thinking, what in the world is going on? I need to make sure me and the kids don't get somewhere and some light pops on and we don't know what's happening and we're in a situation. So, I call a friend of mine and he tells me what to do. He's car savvy. So, you call the people who know how to help you. So he says, the radiator needs to be flushed. Your reservoir needs to be fixed because there was a hole in it. And, okay, fine. So I take it over to the shop. They look, they say, okay, we can get to it. It's about $129 to do the radiator flush. That wasn't even looking at what he said. We put it on the thing, didn't see anything. We think it's a thermostat. So I went and picked up a thermostat and the seal. Well, another friend of mine from the church came over, Brother Wayne. And Brother Wayne is he's a mobile mechanic. He works for another place and does mechanic work, but he does some little stuff on the side. So he came over and he rang the bell and he said, I see water on the ground. He said, your water pump is going. Okay. Thank you, Brother Wayne. He says it shouldn't be any more than about $300. Okay. Thank you, Brother Wayne. So I had already called the regular mechanic that I go to, and they couldn't get me in until this week, which was, let me see, the 16th. No, the 17th. They could get me in on the 17th, which was a week out. So every day I'm driving to work, filling up with water in the morning, filling up with water before I leave, praying that I get home, because if you're driving, that air is coming through the radiator and it's keeping it cool. But as soon as you stop at a light, that temperature gauge is going up, and I don't want it to run hot. I don't want to blow a head gasket and all the things. So I made it. Well, when Brother Wayne couldn't fix my car on Saturday, I ended up having to go over to Enterprise to rent a car. Saturday, their stock is down. So, of course, when your supply is low and your demand is high, your prices are higher. That is just the law of supply and demand. I do economics lessons with my students. That's just how it works. So it ended up being $415 for 7 days. It was pay for 5, get 2 days free. And then you had to put down a $300 deposit. So $715 right out the gate. Well, and then because I got the insurance. Good thing I got the insurance. I just got the general insurance, like a ding, a nick, or whatever. He's like, if you get this one, you can just give me the keys. It doesn't really matter if any scratches on the car. Okay, perfect. Did all that. Well, when I called the mechanic to tell him what Brother Wayne had said, he said, okay, you probably need your timing belt changed again, and you need some other belts changed, and we'll do the water pump. It's going to be $630. Now, by the time I had already paid for the rental car, I'm still driving the rental car at this point. Rental car, I only have $2,000 left in my account. $600 of that's going to take it down to $1,400. And so now I'm looking at $1,300 in the matter of a week that I really am saving for this van that I need to get, because that is the plan, is to save up enough to pay cash for a vehicle. And I'm like, Lord, I don't know what to do here, because I want to be a good steward. And that was why I did that last video. Like, I don't want to let people down that come to this channel for the financial journey to see where I've come through. And now you're going to go get yourself in debt, and they're going to be judging you because you're supposed to be this big financial person. And here you are having to get a car loan because you need a new car. And I'm like, oh God, I don't even know what to do. So I don't even pray about it. I just say that, Lord, I don't know what to do. That was the prayer. It wasn't like I was, fasting and, praying and head covered. I was just like, Lord, I don't know what to do. So the very next day, I get up. This is Monday. So I rented the car Saturday. This is Monday. I get up. I had preached Sunday. And the reason I really rented the rental car is because I had to go to preach in Charlotte, North Carolina at a church down there. And so I needed vehicle to get to the church. I almost called the pastor and said, can I get a ride with you? Because my car ain't working. But I was like, nope, I have money in this account. I'm going to rent a car till I can get my car fixed. So Monday, I go into work, and I got there a little early. And so I sat down, and, a thought came in my mind, go to Hendrick Toyota of Wilmington and look and see what's out there. My sister's really big into research. My sister don't buy nothing. She don't pay for nothing. She don't rent nothing if she has not done her full and total research. So I'm looking and looking and looking, and I find a couple things. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not a research person. So I'm like, okay, what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for miles because I drive a lot. I'm looking for owners. How many owners have had this car? I'm looking for the year of the car. I'm looking for a damage in accident, so checking the Carfax. And the very first car I pull up is a 2013 Toyota Camry. 60,000 miles. It was like 59,954, something or other of that. Miles, one owner, no damages, clean Carfax. Okay, great. Print that one out. Then I'm looking at some more, and I find, man, 7 or 8 different ones. Some of them had multiple owners. Some of them had way more miles than the 59,000. Some of them had, all kinds of different things with the Carfax, the accident, minor damage, blah, blah, blah. So then I say, okay, Shakema, you really been wanting that van. Look up Sienna vans. So I go and I'm looking up vans, and I find quite a few vans. The issue with the vans that I was seeing, different than the cars, was the miles. 100,000, 116,000, 198,000. I'm going, I have 250,000 miles on this car I have right now. There ain't no way I'm going to be like doing that. Then the cost of gas. So I'm looking at the gas mileage. What does this car get to the highway and to the city? So I'm looking and looking. I printed everything out. I got a folder. I'm ready to go because I have some people, my daughter, my sister, my pastor. I sent them a text message. I'm like, hey, this is where I am. This is what I'm getting ready to kind of face. What are you thinking? My sister sent back. She's like, that car has been good to you, but it is time to move forward. My pastor sent back, Shakema, your car has been good to you, but it is time to move forward. He said, with business and you going to preach and stuff. And my car has like the top coat, I don't know, clear coat, is peeling off. So my car looks older. It just looks worn, in places. He said, with you doing business and going places to preach, you need a reliable vehicle, because I'm an evangelist. So I do travel, and I don't require anybody to rent me a car, or, I don't go stay overnight unless I have to be somewhere early. But then I still pay for my, I pay for my own arrangements or whatever, because I'm happy to share the word. But I am having to travel far from where I live most times. And so I have to have a reliable vehicle. The kids do Taekwondo. We travel for tournaments. We're actually going to have our first tournament in over a year in April, and we're going to Myrtle Beach. So I have to prepare for that. So I do all that. I print all this stuff out, and I tell them, hey, this is what I'm looking at. The next thing I hear is call the credit union. So I call the credit union and I say, hey, can you give me any information on, I wanted to know if they would receive people in person, because with, the pandemic, some people don't. And I wanted to ask about a car loan. Well, the lady that I was talking to on the phone, she says, listen, we can do this over the phone. Oh, you do this over the phone. Okay, well, alrighty then. Let's see what we're seeing. And she's like, I see you don't have any debt, but your credit score is good. Credit score is good. 775 credit score. When I probably didn't have a 577 when I was married in the situation, in debt. Probably was lower than that. Don't even know. But over the years, God has really restored, and we have worked this thing out. 775 credit score. She says, I see that you pay your mortgage on time every month, so that's going to help you. She said, we can finance you up to this amount. And my payments would be about $303 a month. I said, well, that's perfect. I said, I've not made any decisions just yet. Let me kind of just see what I'm looking for. Let me see what I can find. Got off the phone with her, and something said, call Mr. Willie. Now, if you looking for a car, listen to me, and you live in the greater Wilmington area, go to Hendrick Toyota, and ask for Willie Jackson. Mr. Willie will hook you up. The reason I know Mr. Willie, I bought my first car from Mr. Willie. Well, not my very first car, but this car that I have. I bought that car from Mr. Willie. And then when my son was ready to buy a car, we went back to see Mr. Willie. Now, Mr. Willie know me. I ain't trying to come over here and get your financing. I'm not trying to come over here and wheel and deal with you. We don't have time for any of that, Mr. Willie. So I called Mr. Willie and I say, I want you to look up this car. I see it at your place. This is the number. And he's like, oh, yeah. Let me look that up. Listen, you come on over here and you look at it. So I get off from work. I tell my boss, I said, listen, I've been having major car troubles. I've got to go and get this squared away. So I go look and I see what the price is. It's below what the credit union said they would finance me for. So that's good, first of all. Car is not bad. I mean, I'm looking at it fresh off the lot. It says no warranty as is. I get that it's a used car. I'm good with that. So Mr. Will's like, listen, this car's not going to last. It's not going to stay here. So if you are serious about this, go ahead and put a deposit on it. That'll take it out of the system. He said, because if you wait, this car will not be here. Now, I looked a couple months back and found another Toyota that was about the same miles, probably more than that one vehicle that I had asked Mr. Willie about. And I went back like the next day and it was gone. I was like, dang. Okay, because I've been thinking, all this time, because I've been trying to save up my money so that when I'm ready to, but you can't think that a car is going to be there. And I was looking in like the 50-mile radius of where I live. So anyway, I tell Mr. Willie, I said, okay, let's talk. What we looking at? And he wanted to, the price he gave me was good. And the miles on the car are fantastic. But I was like, well, Mr. Willie, what about if we can do a trade-in? Would you give me something on that? So everything out the door was a little bit less than $1,000 outside of what they had agreed at the credit union. So I was like, let me just put the money I gave up. So I took the money out of my car fund to put down to hold this car, because I wanted to make sure this was a decision I was trying to make. So I've spent 20 minutes to tell you guys the car. The kids and I have bought a car. We have bought a 2013 Toyota Camry. And the reason I didn't get the van, first of all, was the miles. I need as less miles as I can possibly find. And with that being said, 59,954 miles is half the miles of the lowest amount of miles on a Toyota Sienna I could find. It's a 2013. It has the powertrain, so it doesn't have the timing belt. It has a timing chain, so that doesn't have to be changed. Anyway, so here's my plan for this vehicle. When I came home, they didn't have the car ready. So Mr. Willie said, listen, go back to work because I know you got to go to work. He said, I know you already got your financing together. I know you good. I'm not even going to try to sell you on nothing. I'm like, good, Mr. Willie. Now, the only thing I did ask them, because I just put new tires on my car and the tires on that car were really bad. I said, Mr. Willie, now I need new tires on here or you're going to have to transfer my tires over because I'm not. I just paid $500 for these tires. So he said, listen, I got you. Don't worry about it. We're going to give it the 60,000 mile once over. You go ahead and go back to work. So I go back to work, still have the rental car. And I get, the next day, so this is Tuesday, I was going to, I had to run an errand. I had to run into Charlotte really quickly, which is where one of my schools is. So I left my office. I went into Charlotte to where one of my schools is. And when I came back, there was a message for me. It was Mr. Willie. He was calling and telling me that my car was ready. So I slid to the credit union. I got my check for up to the amount. And then I went over to Toyota, Hendrick Toyota of Wilmington, Willie Jackson. If you need a vehicle and you are in this area, Mr. Willie will work with you. Tell him Shakema sent you. He's an older gentleman. He's been there 40 plus years. We love Mr. Willie. We don't buy cars from anybody else other than Mr. Willie. So anyway, went over there. Had my check in hand, we came out of the taxes, title, all the things included $12,600, which is less than what the credit union approved, way less miles than the loan would stipulate. And that was with taxes, title, tags, all of that was included. So the original price of the car was $12,900. We got it down to $11,400. And then when they added in the tags, taxes, and title, all that stuff, it ended up being $12,600, which I was good. My bottom line price was going to be $12,500. So it ended up being $12,600, no problem. Now, here's how I'm planning to pay this. Because I don't care. Credit union has financed me for 48 months at a price of like $303, which she said it would probably be a little bit cheaper because I didn't go up to the $13,500. So my plan to pay this off is this. When I got my car home, my new car, we got that home, I took the rental car back. So $715 was what I paid for the rental car. My out the door price ended up being $224 for the week, for the 4 days that I had the car. So they ended up refunding me $489. So I put back into my car fund the $489. Toyota released the $1,000 hold that I had put down. So in my car fund now, I put in $24.80. It's $24.89 was what I have in there. The next day, which was Wednesday morning, I woke up and found out that my stimulus was there. So the stimulus was $4,200. We went ahead and did tithe for $420. I didn't take any more money out of that. I just did tithe. $37.80 went into that account. So the $37.80 plus the $24.89 ended up being like $64.77, something of that nature. So right now, off jump, I have about half of the money to pay off the car. There's no early payoff penalty. She said I can pay it off as quickly as I like. Now, in April, the end of April, I will get my supplement. Prayerfully, that will be $1,500 more. That will go to there. I'm thinking that my first car payment won't come out till May 1st. Because right now, we're at the end of March. I still haven't got my paperwork yet. So she said there'll be plenty of time before I have to make my first car payment. If I have to make a car payment before May 1st, it's perfectly fine, no problem. So at the end of April, I do prayerfully hope to get $1,500 to go to that. So that will make that $79,000. And then teachers are supposed to get a bonus of $2,500. I'm thinking about $2,000 of that would be after taxes. So that would be $99,000. And then I'm going to come up with another few little dollars somewhere. So right at about May 1st, I should have about $10,000 in that car fund. I am putting that $10,000 to this. I'm paying this car. I'm not walking around with no car loan for 48 months. I'm not finna do it. Plus, I still haven't gotten YouTube AdSense for this month. Whatever is left over after the sinking funds will go to that car fund. And then in April, there'll be YouTube AdSense. And like I said, thank you guys for watching because I'm seeing the number bump up just a little bit. It bumped up a couple dollars. I mean, and not a lot of dollars, but still it bumped up. So I was thankful for that. So, yeah, it bumped up a couple dollars. And so as much as you watch, that helps our channel. That helps us to be able to chunk money because I'm still in the car fund mode until I pay my payment and get that payment down. So I am prayerful by May the 1st to have $10,000 saved up towards the $12,600 I owe, which would only put me at $2,600 left on that loan. If I ride it out to the end of the year, I should be able to pay it off, but I don't plan to do that either. Whatever I get for YouTube AdSense from now until the end will be like a double payment. I will go ahead and pay my car payment plus a double payment. Or whatever's that YouTube is. I'm going to just chunk it towards that. So my goal is to have the car paid off by December 31st of this year. What the payments will do for me, because I haven't had any payments other than my mortgage, is continue to help my credit, build, help that score build. And so for me, that's going to be perfect. Now, some people, and even my daughter, she said, Mom, I don't know if I would pay all that money to your car. I would just make the payments. You ain't me and I ain't you. So I'm not carrying debt. That's my commitment to myself and my children. If it's not necessary and I'm able to pay it, I'm paying it. That stimulus came, and I'm thankful that it came. And the kids and I got a ride, so we gonna ride. But I'm paying it to the car. If I need to, I can pull money from the dog that we didn't use from last year. I still have money in my sinking fund for homeschool. If I need to pull the homeschool money, I'll pull the homeschool money and I'll just save after. I still have money. I still been sinking the funds. If I need to pull all that money, I will. To pay off, I will. That's not my plan. I plan to throw that big chunk there and then figure out the rest of it, just that last little bit on the back end. But that is my goal. That's my plan. That's how I'm justifying getting this payment, because right now I have just a little bit less than 65 in my fund, which is just about half of that, right? And then I know I'm getting a supplement in April. I get a supplement in October. So if I don't have it all paid off by October, I'm going to take a chunk and chunk it to that as well. But then again, remember, the YouTube AdSense will come in every month. So whatever's left over after sinking funds will go towards that. So that'll be a chunk. How am I going to pay for my car payment? I always take a little bit back. I don't usually take a little bit back, but I pay Taekwondo up front, which is $300. If my car payment is $303, then Dad would, that money, when it comes in, I'll recoup that and then just use that to pay my car payment. So again, it's just a wash. I pay the Taekwondo first, and then I get my Taekwondo money back, and then I can pay towards my payment. I'm thinking my payment will probably be either in the middle of the month, the 15th or the 1st, which is fine. So we'll be fine. And then my son is also getting off of my cell phone plan, so it'll just be me on my plan. And then I'll be able to take care of that with no problem. But for everybody who encouraged me to get a new vehicle, I didn't want to get a new vehicle. I didn't. I was perfectly fine in what we had. I wasn't trying to keep it up with the Joneses. I wasn't trying to, do nothing. But the amount of driving that I do, I need a reliable vehicle. I don't need to be calling out from work because my vehicle's not working. I don't need to be trying to rent a car because I got to put my car in the shop. Now, with the new car, I did end up having to get full coverage, but because I had the sinking fund for my car insurance, I was able to call. They actually called for me when I was getting my car paperwork stuff done, and got my insurance stuff squared away. And I was able to then call my agent and go ahead and pay the remaining, which from that car to my car now was $19 for the end of the month, because my insurance renews April 1st. And then I was able to go ahead and pay for the 6 months because I had the sinking fund. So I am paid up car insurance until October 1st. She was like, Miss Wilson, you can just pay your $19 and then $100 a month would be your payment. I said, I pay by the 6 months. Can I just get one total number? She was like, yeah, this is your number. I transferred that to the bank and went ahead and just paid. So the insurance is paid. That gives me roadside, that gives me towing, it gives me rental in case something happens. And then when I got the car, remember it said as is, no warranty. Well, when I went in to sign my paperwork, he was like, no, you get a 12,000 mile, 12-month warranty plus 100,000 mile, 10 years, something or other. And I'm just under the 10 years. It's like 8 years, so about 2023. But whatever those two things are, I'm good until 2023 on this one and 12,000 miles or 12 months on this other one. So I'm good. Like a whole warranty came with it, because a friend of mine was asking what was the warranty. I said there wasn't any warranty. It's like, oh, well, when I found out that there was a warranty, I was like, praise God, look at the Lord helping me out, giving me that warranty on there. So I am thankful. Is this outside of my comfort zone? 100%, because I was happy in my debt freedom. Do I plan to be in debt for a long time? Absolutely not. If you have not seen Gazelle Intensity, let me show you what it looks like, because I will not carry debt. And the reason is, I was just thinking, if I go ahead and get my car paid off, I can then start another savings, because Alana will need a little car. Now, she won't get a brand new car or anything like that. I'll probably give her my car and then get something else down the line, or we'll find her a little something she can putz around in. And then at some point, Jackson will need a car. So once I get this paid off, then I'm still putting money in the car fund because we're going to need to do other stuff. And I can get my 3 to 6 months up and moving. So that's the plan. I'm going to do a total separate video, a walkthrough of the car and what it looks like that you guys see. I will put a picture at the end of this video so that you can see what the car looks like. But I'm excited. I'm excited about the fact that I don't have to keep watching that little temperature gauge to see if I'm going to run hot or blow a gasket or what have you while I'm driving. And I was doing that with myself. Can't imagine what it would be like when I was driving with the kids, because I don't want to put them in harm's way or for us to be sitting on the side of the road and not be able to get where we need to get. Because that is a bad feeling, especially as a woman, as a single woman. I do know certain things about cars. I do know how to do some stuff, but I want to have safety in my driving. I want to have safety in going to work. And I work, one of my schools is very far and it's kind of down country road. So I want to make sure that I am safe. So anywho, there it is, you guys. Whether you agree or not, I understand. But this is the best choice for me and my kids right now. And it won't be long. Don't you worry. You keep your eyes on Shakema and the Lord. We're going to do this thing because God has assured me that nothing that I need, he won't supply. And he knows all of my needs. Right now, I needed this car, and I think he led me to it. I believe he led me to it. I believe he led Mr. Willie to help me and get that car off the market. I believe I had just enough money to take care of the rental car and the deposit for the car. And then the credit union, they were like, yes, ma'am, we own it. You don't have no credit, but you good on your mortgage. Come on, let's do this. And so I believe it just all worked itself out. And then I believe that stimulus came through to help me see, no, you're going to have this money. Don't worry. It looks a little crazy right now, but you're going to be okay. Because in a matter of moments, it was there. It was there. Y'all, half the money is in my account. I'm just waiting for them to give me the terms of my loan so that I can go ahead and pay that half. So I'm feeling good about it. Still a little bit kind of nervous sometimes, but when I drive the vehicle, it drives. And I'm not worried. No lights on. I don't see anything, or, nothing smells funny or sounds funny. I'm listening in the car going, was that a sound? Was that a sound? I'm not even doing that now, because in my other car, I would cut the radio down and go, shh, let me figure out what's happening here. So, I'm thankful. I'm thankful on all sides of it. So anyway, this video has been long enough and I chatted, but I am going to do a separate video just so that you guys can see the car, because I know some of you would be interested in what it looks like. Put a picture at the end, but I will do just like a total walkthrough. Probably need to have it really cleaned inside because the seats are lighter colored. You can just tell a little bit thing here or there, but it's perfect. It's perfect for me. It's perfect for the kids. I got the Camry because of the miles. Did I want the van? Do I still want the van? Sure. But for the miles, I need the miles. And then there's a feature in the 2013 where I can lay that seat down. So Alana doesn't go to competitions anymore. It's just Jackson. So I can actually put his bow through the trunk and it would fit because he just needs one seat. So his bow, which is a long stick thing he uses for competition, be able to put that seat down and then get all of his stuff in there. So there it is, you guys. All that we're doing, all that's happening right here. So many things. I'm just excited. Blessed to the Lord. God is so good to me. And I'm just very thankful. So there it is, you guys. Be happy for us. Even if you don't think it's the right decision, we respect your choice to not agree. But this was it for us. So thank God and praise the Lord. So anywho, there it is, you guys. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. We love to keep you as a part of our YouTube family. Share this video if you feel like somebody would benefit from it. We do appreciate you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.